Okay.
Yes. Yes, I'm on.
All right, good. Okay, thank you. All right, John, if you're ready, we're ready then.
Okay, we're all set.
I'd like to call the meeting to order for the Waterville City Council meeting, Monday, August the 24th. And I would ask Barb Bruno to lead us in the prayer.
My pleasure. Loving God, as we come together tonight for the city of Waterville, we pause to ask you to be with us and guide our way. May your spirit of peace surround all we say and do this evening. We ask for your strength to do what is best for the good of Waterville. Lord God, as servants of your people, we pray that you grant us a share of your wisdom. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. And I ask Mary Duncan to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is right back here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
Which is
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
liberty.
with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Barb, and thank you, Mary, for that. I'd like to call this roll call. John?
Mr. Bruno.
Here.
Mrs. Bruno.
Here.
Mr. Fry.
Here.
Mr. Mayor.
Here.
Mr. Rosick.
He's here.
He's here.
I'm here. I am.
All right.
Everybody.
Mr. Borowski.
There he is.
Here.
Mrs. Duncan.
Here.
Okay, we have the minutes from our regular council meeting from Monday, July 27th. We've all had a chance to receive those and review them. I would accept a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved.
Mary Duncan, and I think second was Rod Fry.
Correct.
Any more discussions on the minutes?
Just to show you that I read them. In the communications from council members, I had no report, but my name's not there, so not a big deal, you know.
Let's correct that. We want that corrected. John had no report. So
At least that's my recollection. I don't know if that's.
We'll get that corrected. Any other comments, updates? Okay, those motion passed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next, we have a proclamation, Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and I'd like to read that to you. Whereas this year, approximately 191,930 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in the United States every year, and roughly 33,330 will die this year from the disease. And whereas in Ohio, an estimated 7,030 new cases of prostate cancer will be diagnosed, an estimated 1,200 deaths will occur in 2020. And whereas men with relatives, a father, a brother, son with a history of prostate cancer are twice as likely to develop the disease. And whereas prostate cancer is the second leading cause of cancer of death in American men, behind only lung cancer. And whereas 1 in 9 men are diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, African American men are at the highest risk for the disease and 2.2 times more likely to die from prostate cancer. And whereas men who are veterans who have been exposed to herbicides and chemicals are at a higher risk for developing prostate cancer, and whereas nearly 3.1 million men in the United States are living with prostate cancer and diagnosed, and that number is estimated to climb to 4 million by 2024. And whereas all men are at risk for prostate cancer, and we encourage the citizens of the Waterville to recognize the importance of prostate screenings. Now, therefore, I, Timothy G. Pedro, as the mayor of the city of Waterville, do hereby proclaim September 2020 as Prostate Cancer Month in the city of Waterville, and urge all residents to join in the recognition in this significant occasion. In witness thereof, I set my hand and caused to affix this great seal, the city of Waterville, Ohio, this 24th day, August 2020. And John, I think you might have a comment or two beyond the proclamation that you and Kenny work with this team on this program. So, John?
Tim, we also work with the ovarian cancer awareness, and they'll be putting out the ribbons on the trees in the downtown area probably this week.
Good.
Prostate and ovarian cancer awareness.
Okay. Well, we thank the volunteers for obviously putting that news out and giving us an opportunity to recognize that most important cause. Next up, we have citizens' comments. And John, I'll defer to you if you have any citizens on the line.
We have three. If they have any comments, I believe they're in attendance for issues on the agenda.
Okay.
We have Andrea Henline, Steve Crandall, and Mike Denham, the pastor of the Waterville United Methodist Church.
This is Steve Crandall. I have no comments at this time.
Andrea, any comments?
No, I have no comments.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no comments as well.
Great. All right. Then we will move on to staff reports. We'll start with our administrator, John.
Thank you, Mayor. Council has a copy of my report. I wanted to mention that the city did receive a approved ballot language for our 3.25 mil fire levy from the Ohio Secretary of State's office, so I guess it's officially approved. We also had we finalized our 2015 bond refunding issue. We accepted or received bids on July 30th, 2020. We received 9 bids, and our low bid was received by Robert W. Baird and Company, and the total interest cost there was 1.44%. So that equates to about $546,858 in savings over the 21 years remaining on our bond. We also have a bid opening coming up for our water meter replacement project. The bid opening is scheduled for September 2nd, and that has an estimated cost of $555,000. The city received $160,950 in financial assistance from the Ohio Public Works Commission, and that concludes my report. If council has any questions.
Council, any questions for our administrator?
And I just wondered, I don't want to jump in first, but one of your comments was some deficiencies in the road construction on Michigan and Prairie Boulevard. Was that just for the monuments, or were there other issues?
Yeah, that was just the monuments and survey points, which were getting replaced or repaired, and ODOT is going to handle Michigan Avenue, and we're working with our friends who are developing Farnsworth Village, Plat 3, to take care of the ones on Prairie Boulevard.
And, you mentioned Republic Services. How are we doing? Right? The good news is this week they hit Village Parkway, Lower Village Parkway. Very nice.
Very good. We are kind of going back and forth on some things. I've been working with him, the representative, on the educational part of it. So we're working on the mailer that Republic is going to be sending out. We also have received some recycling and refuse containers that are up front, and we've been able to use those in a informational meeting of a homeowners association, condo association, which, they're sensitive to the fact that maybe they won't be able to fit these containers in their garages, and I have to to say the Gatewood Road Homeowners Association, for the most part, they were all satisfied with the 65-gallon containers. So that, I think that was a success, and we'll try to arrange more of those meetings. And as I mentioned to council in a prior email, we're still working on finalizing the contract, and we have received emails and calls from residents who are interested in the smaller container size, and we have their contact information, and we will forward those to Republic when they establish a final delivery date for the containers. And I wanted to emphasize that, you know, the idea is we're not going to deliver them on Sunday, and then on Monday we expect people to use them. You know, we'll give advance notice. You know, they're being delivered, hopefully 2 weeks notice, and in the educational campaign literature, you know, when we would like to start the public using those containers. And the Public Works Department and I, you know, we'll work with residents who have issues with the container size, or they want a smaller one, or that type of thing. I think we can handle that. And you know, we'll be delivering about 4,400 containers. So I'm sure there'll be some issues with that many containers, but we'll try to do our best with that.
Thanks, Jim. That's all I had, Mayor.
Anyone else?
Well, right to that point, how is notice going out to the public?
Well, we would probably send something out in the mail, you know, and look at some kind of electronic medium, I guess. Social media has kind of said that you know, these were going to be like dropped off tomorrow or something like that, and you know, that wasn't the case. And you know, we don't have a final contract with Republic yet, so we don't know the exact date of when they're going to be delivered. But we want to get that information out, you know, to everybody, and you know, give people enough time to ask questions and tell us if they have issues with the size of the containers, and you know, try to meet with some more homeowners associations in the condo areas. And you know, if they don't have room for these containers, maybe, you know, we figure something else out in that respect.
So when you say by mail, does that mean every home is going to get some kind of correspondence from the city?
Yes.
Okay. And then are you on the Next Door Neighbor app? Are we doing any social media from the city?
Well, you know, I guess I read it. I want to be aware of what people are talking about, but I'm not a, you know, participant, I guess you could say. You know, I want to make sure that we follow what's going on. But you know, in this case, you know, the containers weren't going to be delivered at the end of the month, and again, that's something that's out of our control right now.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
John, is there a 35-gallon option, or is it just 65 and 95?
Well, I believe there's a 35-gallon option on the website of Republic's website, but
Right.
we were going to be looking at the 95 and the 65. We probably got about 100 requests for the 65, and that's out of, you know,
Okay.
400 containers. I don't think very many people will want to use that. I mean, there might be a couple that want to use that, and hopefully we could figure something out. But Republic,
Just checking.
yeah, Republic. As of now, they want to try to keep it to 2 sizes.
Sure. Okay. Thanks.
When can we expect those letters to go out?
Well, when we get a final date from Republic on when they want to deliver the containers, so we'll send it out as soon as we know when the date is, and I am hoping that or I expect Republic to give us 2 weeks notice, you know, send out the mailer, and then 2 weeks later, you know, they're delivered.
Yeah.
Can you give us a heads up on council, John, of, you know, the letters are about to go out, just so we're aware?
Yep.
Yeah, otherwise, yeah, City Hall's gonna be flooded with phone calls, right? Yeah.
I'll get calls.
Maybe just take that one step further. When John does let us know, council, we know we have our own circle of neighbors / friends. I guess if we can push out some information, that would be beneficial as well. So it's a good team effort. I like that. Alrighty, if there's no more questions for the administrator, we'll move on to our law director.
Phil is absent this evening.
All right. So he probably has no report then. Our finance director.
Hello, thank you, Mayor. I'm gonna just start. We're gonna look at the July. It's within your report, and on page 1 is your fund report and bank report. They agree, as should be. And our fund balance currently is $8,373,000, and there's an awful lot of expenses that we have not paid, projects that we have not anticipated, and budgeted projects that we have not gotten into yet. So that's the fund balance. The investments haven't changed. And July's reader report is within your packet there, and also August. So I'm going to just go to August. We covered July previously, and it's going to be on page 19 is where that starts. We received $480,000 in income tax receipts for the month of August. So because of that delayed deadline, a lot of that is attributed to that. So there's an increase of 248 over the prior year, which puts us just a little bit above what we did last year by this time, of 1.66%. And we still clearly don't know what we're going to anticipate for September, October, and/or the rest of the year. So I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Unless there's any questions, I'd be happy to entertain those.
Any questions for Mark? Okay, we will move on to our treasurer's report.
Thank you, Mayor, Member Council. I believe you have my report. I will just reiterate what Mr. Williams mentioned. End of July, we're about $8.4 million. Our general fund and capital funds are down just slightly. July wasn't a great income tax month, but again, as Mr. Williams mentioned, had a fantastic August collection. And I know, as we had mentioned before, we weren't really going to be able to tell where all this stuff was going to shake out until probably around the end of September is where we really were going to get a good flavor. But I have to be honest, if you told me 4 months ago we'd be at the end of July with 8.373, I would have told you were nuts. Yeah. So actually, I think it's a pretty good report. Again, I know we do have some catching up on some expenses to do. I know there's some resolutions coming up on that have been tabled for a while, but right now I think we're in pretty darn good shape considering everything going on today. So that's the end of my report.
Good. Any questions for Steve? Okay, moving on to our police chief, Joe.
Evening, council and mayor. A few things tonight. Officers have been fitted for their ballistic vests. They should be in about 4 to 6 weeks. We received a quote for updating our front lobby window. It's kind of a 70s style sliding window right now. We want to update it just for a little bit more safety. For the month of August, we did a little bit of training inside the department. We went through a use of force training, handcuffing, subject control, ASP, which is the expandable baton, and OC training, which is MACE. So pretty happy that we got that done in the month of August. Thanks to the to Doug on the fire department for letting us use their training room. We do have a traffic campaign coming up, Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over. That runs from August 26th through September 7th. You'll see banners at each end of the town on the trail. By Prey Park, there's one. We rode 166 miles on bicycles for the month of July, and our motorcycle got 45. That's all I got tonight.
Any questions for Police Chief?
Are we also going to put the, drive sober or get pulled over on our electronic sign?
We can do that. Yep, I'll make a note of it.
I think we should.
It's a good idea.
Is that our campaign, Chief, or is that through the state or county?
Yeah, it's through the state. And then if we participate, usually the state has items like PBTs, the portable breath test monitors, and sometimes they give us radar units for being a participant. Nice. So it just depends on what they have.
You won't have a checkpoint though, or will you?
No, if traffic crashes start to rise, or we feel that there's a need for it, we can get a hold of the county and have one through them set up in town or in the area.
Thanks, Chief.
You're welcome.
Okay, we will move on to our fire chief, Doug Meyer. Doug?
Good evening. You're welcome, Chief Valvano. It's not a problem to help you out with training, but due to the fact that Chief Valvano says I talk all the time, you guys have a copy of my report, but I don't have anything to add tonight because I'm going to be shorter than him. I'm determined.
Any questions for Chief Meyer?
Good evening, Chief. I noticed you guys did a sprinkler inspection at Waterville Place Apartments twice. Were there some violations the first time?
No, so I'm going to have to go back to both of those buildings again because there's no violations. There's two different buildings. I did one the first time, and then I did a different building the second time. But they're choosing, with the way their construction is, to not complete the project at once. So I tried to explain to them that this makes things difficult on a small department. But they're not installing the entire sprinkler system. They're installing everything in the ceiling, and they want that checked so that the contractors can continue drywalling. And then they want to call me back out for a second sprinkler test when they get it connected to the water line. So it's kind of one of those, how do you deal with it? I just went out and did it and told them I got to come back, that your sprinkler's not signed off. So I made them write that in their report. They have it documented to the state that their inspection's not complete. So I'll have to go back out whenever they get hooked up to the city system.
Wow, what a pain in the neck.
Yeah, I kind of expressed that to the sprinkler contractor, but he said the job foreman out there wants none of hearing that. So he wants to do it his way, he said. I'll make sure that I doesn't cut something else out when they ask for the sprinkler inspection. If I'm busy, it's going to have to wait.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else for the chief? All right, let's hear from save the best for last, Kenny Blair. Kenny. Kenny, turn your volume on, buddy. We want to hear you. Turn your volume on.
Your mute button is on, Ken.
Mute.
You got to turn off your mute.
There he is. There he is.
Must
All right, Kenny, go ahead.
Accidentally hit that. I'll start off like I do every meeting lately, and that's just quick update on the bridge, 64 bridge project. All the piers have been removed on the Wood County side, and that was all the remaining ones left. You may have noticed they have the wooden fencing up along the shared use path on the Waterville side. I believe they still have some to put up on the Wood County side. They have the observation areas all formed up, and I believe they're going to pour those this week. So those will be pretty much wrapped up. You may have noticed over the weekend, if you were downtown, they did pave Mechanic Street and tied that in with the trail. They still have some pavement markings and striping they have to perform. I expect they may do that tomorrow. I didn't get a date, but it's got to be pretty soon, I suspect. They still yet have to do the restoration of the park area, both the square and Memorial Park. That'll be probably one of the last things they do. And they're also going to be pretty soon taking the causeway out on the Wood County side. That'll take a little bit of time, but they're getting close to having that removed. We look to have probably a punch list review on that project next month. We'll do a walkthrough with the contractor and the city engineer, myself and John. I think we're going to attend that. And the only thing, everything I have right now on the bridge is we do have a progress meeting September 6th or September 2nd. I'm sorry. So that's kind of an update on where they're at. If you got any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Council, any questions? I've got a few, but I'll defer to council members.
I have a question. Ken, I saw that they were up in Mill Creek taking out the sidewalk approaches. Is that to make them handicap accessible?
Mill Creek or Farmview?
It was up in Mill Creek. There was a couple of them up in Mill Creek.
Yeah, Brendy Brook. Through that area. That's part of the paving program. Yeah.
Okay.
What are you talking about that? You've probably seen there's quite a few of them that we're doing right now of storm drain repairs throughout the city.
Oh, is that?
So we'll be working on that for the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Let's see. You have a copy of the paving program this year, all the number ones, those are going to be done this year. So that'll be
looks
nice.
like they started in the on the alleyway right downtown here, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're just doing a 100-foot section of that?
Yeah. For right now. Yeah, that was really poor shape. So we just do that.
Yeah. That was great. Good job.
You shake your teeth when you drive through there. We are getting the documentation around for the sidewalk repair for 2001. And that's going to be Mill Creek, since we didn't get it done last year. We're going to go back and hopefully we'll have that ready for Mark here in a couple weeks.
Hey, Kenny, last question. I noticed at the bridge, there's kind of like I don't know if it's a service drive underneath the bridge on our side. Is that permanent, or are they going to take that out?
No, that's permanent.
It is permanent.
It was part of the design. It's only roughed in right now. We'll have to do that as we develop the park.
Okay.
We'll put a pavement, concrete or asphalt paving. It's a service drive. That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Any other questions for Ken? I just got a comment. I want to thank the Public Works Committee and certainly our engineering team for getting all the number ones taken care of, because I think council knows that that's been sort of a special project in my mind, that we take care of our roads, infrastructure, and thanks for allowing a substantial increase of funding for that program. So even though we're cautiously moving forward with our budgets, we felt this was important to manage those dollars and manage them well. So thank you. Next up, we have communications from council. We'll start with Barbara Bruni.
Well, the only comment is we have a Parks and Recreation meeting coming up September 1st. And other than that, no comment. Thank you.
Good. Mary?
No report this evening.
And then we'll go to Rod Fry,
No report this evening.
and then we'll follow up with Anthony
No report tonight.
and Todd Borowski.
Yes, good afternoon, good evening. So we had a tree commission meeting. Looks like we're going to do the Arbor Day celebration on October 2nd at 9 a.m. And basically what we're going to do is send some info on planning and trimming the trees to get those Arbor Day credits. August 27th, we're going to do a tree tagging, rain date of September 3rd. And I think they were working on approval for plant 3 trees. Also, I attended we didn't end up doing the public works meeting, but the fire co-op, I'll let you take that role. I've been in all of those meetings and where we're going with the leadership, the flyers, and next steps. I'm going to let you talk about that, Tim. Thank you, Mayor.
John Rosick.
No report, Mayor. I'm going to agree with Todd. I will defer to you on the update on the fire co-op levy.
Good. Well, before I get to that, just a couple things. Obviously, school is going to be opening up here somewhat part-time basis, if you will. I think we all want to remind our citizens of the school, Waterville Primary School, where the kids go to school, so be extra careful. Obviously, we're still dealing with COVID-19. I think all of us at our work and home, and obviously at the city, we're cautiously moving forward and carefully, so we need to stay the course. I just want to thank again the city staff. It's been, I'm sure, very difficult over the last several months, but under John's leadership and others, we're plowing away, so thank you. We talked about the paving program, so thanks again. And Joe, I want to thank you again for getting the bicycles out. I've seen a lot of the police officers out and about, and Chief Meyer, I've been down to the station a few times over the last month, and it's always looking clean and sharp down there, so thank you. So moving on to the fire co-op educational committee, there are a couple comments I want to make, and I wrote them down so I wouldn't speak. So here we go. So I want to take the opportunity to update council and our citizens of the Waterville formation of the Waterville Co-op Educational Committee. These volunteers listed below have spent many hours in various city committees and have vested interest in continuing to help make our Waterville Fire and Rescue Department be stronger and be better able to serve our citizens in our community. Over the next few weeks, under this leadership team, we'll be working and executing the plan to educate the citizens of Waterville about the new fire co-op, which is being set up here in the next couple of weeks. Special thanks to Nick Sargent, who sits on the Public Safety Committee. He's going to spearhead the leadership, and with his teammates, Jennifer Scroggs, Jim McNeils, and Jeff Marty will serve as treasurer. I've talked to all of them over the last several weeks, and again, we had another meeting this afternoon. These 4 folks I mentioned under the leadership team will also be working with Vice Mayor John Rosick and Councilmember Todd Borowski on a larger basis. These efforts are being coordinated as a community with White House and Waterville Township, and together we are educating the public on the greater need for fire and rescue. It goes without saying that we have the greatest volunteers in the area. It's just that the model doesn't hold up going forward. We just can't rely on the model of volunteers. So again, several kudos to those committee members. And then secondly, this Wednesday, several other additional community members are going to be learning about the fire co-op at an August 26th Zoom meeting where they can learn about the program and what it means. So again, thanks to Nick, Jennifer, Jim, and Jeff for the fire co-op. I'll take questions if any council member has a question on that. Okay, moving on. I'm going to move things around just a little bit. We have some guests on the line, and I I know last meeting we had Steve Crandall and your team wait to the very end, and that wasn't very fair. So I'm going to move ahead of the schedule and go to the ordinance 1120, and I'll read it, and then we can invite you to leave the meeting, Steve, if you want, if you got any questions. So moving along, ordinance 1120. This is an ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Waterville by granting a special use permit to allow the construction of a church on parcel zoned residential district located at 7115 Waterville Monclova Road. The first reading was on July 27th. Second reading was tonight. And the third reading will be on September the 14th. John, do you have anything else to add to that? John Golkenauer?
I don't, Mayor.
And Steve Crandall, you and your team have any questions or comments you want to add at this time?
Pastor Mike, if you have anything you want to say?
Nope. Can't wait till the next meeting.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's tough. So gentlemen, you're welcome to stay, but you don't have to. I mean, you're free to go.
Thank you.
And next, I'd like to also take care of our friends from Farnsworth Investors, and we're going to go to the next resolution I'm going to read, and that's resolution 2820, a resolution approving the plat of Farnsworth Village of Waterville Landing Plat 3 and authorizing the municipal administrator to sign said plat. And I'll ask John Golkenauer for further information on that.
Well, council has had a copy of my comments, and the applicant has provided all of the information and documentation that's required that was specified in the resolution. So they're good to go.
Andrea, did you have anything to add or want any comments?
No, we are ready to go. I have 5 pre-sales. Waterville is just the place to be. We have everything done, like John said. And back to his comment a while ago, the monuments on Prey Boulevard we are working with, they're supposed to be installed today or tomorrow. So that'll be taken care of. And that was from 2014. So sorry, but it's getting done. And no, we're excited. We're ready to go.
Good. Well, I know a lot of nice homes being built over there, and I'm sure this next section will be just as nice as well. So thank you.
Yes, for sure.
Again, Andrea, you're welcome to stay, but you don't have to. So, John, we need a motion to accept resolution 2820.
I move to approve resolution 2820.
I'll second that. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I think we all eyed it. All right. Thanks, Jennifer. Or Andrea, excuse me.
Great.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks.
Okay, moving back to the scheduled agenda, old business, resolution 1020. It's a resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to award a contract to Matthews Ford for the purchase of a 2020 Ford F-550 cab and chassis. This was tabled several months ago and is being brought off the table today. So,
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
We should take care of the appointment to the tree commission first.
I was going to do that after you said that, John. I missed that. All right, let's go back. So we had a gentleman by the name of Mr. Michael Hill, who not only signed up to be on the tree commission, but he also attended a recent meeting and demonstrated his commitment to the tree commission. And so he's volunteered to join that committee. And I'll defer to Todd if you've got a comment or two about that appointment.
Mike, he seems overqualified. Very excited to be in the tree commission, which is amazing. I don't think we have everyone knocking down the door to join the tree commission. And Mike actually said something to me. I said, hey, there's a spot that's that's open. And he said, yeah, I'll take it. So he and I went to the last meeting. We have another meeting this Thursday, and yeah, he's ready to go.
Good. So we need a motion to appoint him. Is that correct?
So move.
And Todd, do you want to second that? Todd seconds that. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. All right, now before I was interrupted, no, I'm just kidding. We'll go to old business, resolution 1020. And as I mentioned, it's a resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to award a contract to Matthews Ford for the purchase of a 2020 Ford F-550 cab and chassis. And as I mentioned, it was tabled several months ago. So I'll open that up for discussions.
Are they still selling 2020s? Or are they now into 2021s?
I'll defer to John. John Golkenauer.
Well, I guess I'd have to defer to Kenny on that, but I think the prices are still valid for all the items on the agenda.
That's correct. And there's still 2020s available out there.
Excellent. There's usually a better deal on the 2020s now that the 2021s are out.
Correct.
Mr. Mayor, should we consider all three of these resolutions for discussion, or you want to take them one at a time?
No, I think it's a good point. So I will go ahead and read resolution 1120 and 1220, and then we'll have discussion on all three of them. So resolution 1120 is a resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to award a contract to Kaleida Truck Equipment, Inc. for the purchase of a dump body, salt spreader, and related equipment. Again, that was tabled several months ago and brought up today. The other resolution is 1220, a resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to award a contract to Deere and Company for the purchase of a John Deere 5100 utility tractor. And of course, we will trade in one of our old vehicles. Again, that was tabled several months ago, and now it's being discussed tonight. John Rosick, go ahead.
Well, I guess I'm still hesitant to spend at this point. I know the numbers seem to look good, but I guess I'd like to wait another month or two, maybe, if that's not going to jeopardize the purchase or the amounts, the bid amount. But, we did have a good month, obviously, in collections, but I guess I would like to see at least one more month before we start with capital expenditures. However, if there's a need, if something is critical, then maybe we could look at one of these at this point and delay two.
John or Kenny, do you want to comment to that?
Yeah, I will, just a little bit here. For this particular truck, this truck's already been spec'd out to exactly what we want. It's already built. And I've been kind of swinging this carrot in front of them for a couple months now, explaining to them why, and for good reason. And so far, they've been pretty patient about it, because I don't know how long they'll go before they actually sell it. If we do have to start over, specking out another truck, is probably going to take 4 months, probably minimum, to have a new truck built.
What truck are you talking about? Are you talking about the?
I'm talking about the 1-ton dump truck snowplow.
Okay.
I would think that on a vehicle like that, we need to buy it now, because with the winter coming up, and if this is a snowplow truck, and it takes months to spec out, I can't believe we wouldn't buy it now, because if we don't, we'll end up in the middle of winter trying to buy this when they need it. So I say just buy it now.
Anthony, you actually bring up a good point. I have a few friends trying to order vehicles right now, and they are put off 6 months because inventory is so low. So I didn't think about that, but that's a great point. If this truck is sold, we may not get this truck for winter, So,
Exactly.
yeah.
We won't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mary?
They haven't had the plants open to build them. So
Right.
we're pretty darn that we actually have one available to us. As much as I would love to wait because, you know, the finances are iffy, I think it's a dangerous move at this point.
I agree.
I agree.
Barbara Bruno?
What, and then I'm hearing Kenny saying that, you know, the urgency is not there for the Ford F-550 or the John Deere
The tractor.
utility tractor. So those could remain tabled, and then we could move on resolution 1120.
For a month.
No,
No,
we would have to
we're
do,
talking about the truck.
720 or one purchase, yes.
Wait, talking.
two resolutions are connected.
Yes.
Resolution 10-20 and 11-20 would have to be done.
Right. 10, 20, and 11, 20.
Oh, 1020 and 1120 go together.
Right.
Yes.
Go together.
I think it's equipment that's going to be put on that truck, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Is this replacing a truck? Or we're
Yes,
just,
it's replacing the old Ford 1-ton 1996
and why are we replacing it?
because it's a 1996.
That doesn't mean anything.
It's barely holding together.
24 years.
Is that,
Yeah, 24 years old.
Another year, it could be
eligible for is that eligible for historic plates or no?
Kenny, tell me again why it's the 1990s. All right, let's bring this back to somewhat of order. I'm sensing a couple things. I'm sensing we want to be responsible. We want to, keep the momentum going, but we're cautiously moving forward. How about this? If we did move forward with the truck and the equipment, then maybe we could, for the time being, hold off on the tractor, at least for 30 days, the John Deere tractor, and see where things are, unless that's going to make the public works, crippled in that respect.
I'm okay with that, Tim. We can wait for that piece of equipment.
Any other comments like that that we need to flush out?
Just to be clear then, Kenny, the total would be 86,000 roughly?
Yes, and it's within the budget, the capital budget amount.
Yeah, I know we budgeted for it. Mark, what do you think about 86,000 this month?
What do I think about it? I think and I think we talked about this before, our fund balance has been preserved significantly throughout the year already. So, yeah, I think that's probably an okay move. I mean, that's 100,000 ballpark, less than 100,000. So, yeah, I think that's okay.
Thanks, Mark.
John, one thing we did notice is our withholding taxes have been pretty stable. They're not, outperforming 2019, but they're pretty stable. And actually, we're up about 14,000 ahead of 2019 as of August in withholding taxes. And I guess what that kind of shows to us is people are working, businesses are open, people are getting taxes withheld from their checks. So it's been pretty consistent throughout the year. Again, it's not outperforming 2019 by much, but it hasn't had a drastic dip like we would have expected or was projected to be. So in that respect, I think our income tax is stable on that end, and that's 64% of our income tax comes from withholding taxes.
Good. Yeah, thanks, John. Good to know.
Okay, I'm sensing that we're generally in favor of going ahead with the purchase of resolution 1020 for the 2020 Ford F-550, as well as a resolution 1120 for the purchase of the dump body, salt spreader, and related equipment. So I will call for the question on resolution 1020.
We didn't have a motion yet, Tim.
Excuse me?
I don't think there was a motion yet.
No,
You called the question, but we didn't have the motion.
Yeah, I'm asking for a motion though.
A technicality, to be sure. I have one more question though. Is there any trade-in value on the 96 vehicle?
Yeah, I did have the dealer quote me that, and it was $1,500.
Oh, well, okay.
Or nothing.
Probably want to do like Gov deals, right, Kenny? Just list it on Gov deals.
No,
Get more on Gov deals, yeah.
cemetery district.
How many miles does it have on it?
Hey, that's not a bad idea, Rod. We'll sell it to you for 2,500.
Oh my God.
So it doesn't make more sense, we wouldn't get more money on Gov deals than a trade-in with a dealer?
It's possible.
We're not, are we, what's the plan, Kenny? Are we trading it in or?
That's part of the price.
I think we were going to put it on Gov deals. Now, we don't have to accept the price we get on Gov deals. If we think it's too low, we can always decline the bid. But I think that was the idea. Or as Mr. Fry mentioned, the cemetery district is in need of a truck to haul around their mowers and things like that. So that might be a alternative. And the law director actually has looked into that, and you know, we would be able to do that if we wanted to sell it to another political subdivision. We could take bids that way as well.
Okay. I like that idea if they need it.
Good point. Okay, are we ready for the motion now? John Rozek, would you like to make the motion?
Yeah, I will move to approve resolution 1020 and 1120 together.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Just one more comment. I think council did the right thing by putting those things on hold for several months. I think we had good dialogue tonight, and I think we're doing it the smart way. So thank you. So I think we're also of the consensus to take resolution 1220 and continue that until at least 30 days. Is that reasonable?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on.
Quick question, Mayor. So this is a mower, correct, Kenny? Can we just table it until next year? Do you need it? Will you need it this year? It's so late in the season.
Well, it's a
tractor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see. It's a 20-year-old piece of equipment. But yeah, I mean, probably. I mean, it's kind of been nickel us to dime to get here the last couple of years, but
I guess I'm just thinking storage for the old piece. If we buy a new piece, being we're at the end of the season, and then we go to sell the old piece, we might get more at the beginning of the mowing season next year. But just food for thought.
Good point.
Why don't we come back? Why don't we come back in 30 days and maybe a little more clarity will come by that time. That sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. All right. We have already taken care of 1120. We've taken care of 1420 and the new business.
No.
Excuse me. We have not done 1420. Who's paying attention out there? Thank you.
Me.
Good. All right, Rod. So ordinance 1420 is an ordinance amending the part 3 of the codified ordinance of the city of Waterville, schedule 5 of the traffic schedules. Restricted or prohibited parking by adding a no parking area to a portion of Sycamore Lane and Royal Hampton Lane. And I'll let John Golkenauer put a little more information out to you on that.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an issue that was recommended to the safety committee by the police chief, fire chief, and public works director. And in your packets, you have a picture of where this is and another picture of cars parked on both sides of the street. And you know, it does obstruct visibility. You're restricting the lane down to one, and then as you're coming into the curve, if you have somebody coming from
And maybe Barb and John, because you were at the last public safety meeting, is there anything else you wanted to add? There was a lot of discussion about that. Certainly Joe Valvano can add to the conversation. But Barb or John?
Well, I would just say one of the chiefs had a diagram that just sold it. It makes a lot of sense. Was that you, Joe? Chief had that. Oh, there it is. John's got one. The congestion really is, it speaks for itself. And so this is a real positive move in the right direction.
Good. All right, so tonight was the first reading. The second reading will be September 14th, and legislative action will be scheduled for September 28th. Okay. Next up is approval of a rerouting of the Buckeye Trail through the city of Waterville. And this is a motion to authorize the rerouting of the Buckeye Trail through the city of Waterville. And John, you got some more information on that, John Gokenauer?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. John Nemec, who's the Defiance Section Supervisor of the Buckeye Trail Association, he prepared a map for council that shows that they would like to switch the trail from River Road to the Anthony Wayne Trail and utilize the multi-use path for safety reasons. And he couldn't be here tonight, but he attended the meeting of the Park and Rec Committee on June 23rd, and they recommended that to council to move the route as Mr. Nemec is recommending.
I completely agree with that because there's no sidewalks. And sometimes on River Road, the cars just fly down River Road. Unfortunately, the view is not what it was, what it will be, but we might as well utilize that path. I completely agree with this.
I agree 100%.
I agree too. And I think during the last meeting, did we talk about installing signs to wasn't there a discussion about some type of signs that could potentially bring them to the more tourist attractions?
The Buckeye Trail Association was going to install their signage for
Yep.
trail signage. So that would be taken care of by them. And they wanted to direct people into the downtown area. That was another thing that they wanted to do. So they could, maybe eat somewhere or, visit a shop downtown.
Okay.
Good.
And I just have Anthony, I don't want to interrupt if you had more, Anthony.
Nope.
I know there's a crosswalk signal at Waterville, Monclova, which I think is where they're crossing to get to the path. But when you get to the other end of that, I don't think there's a signal or a sign to cross back across Route 24. I wonder if that's presenting any issues for the pedestrians.
Or you mean Anthony Wayne Trail?
Right.
In 2022, we'll be doing the intersections improvement project, and we'll be updating all the crosswalks at Farnsworth and the trail and Mechanic and the trail and 3rd Street. That's part of that.
So will that include the flashers that, like we have at Waterville, Monclova? Is that part of that?
I guess I can't remember off the top of my head what's out there, but I would say probably not because it has to be incorporated with the traffic signal, vehicle signal. But we can make sure that it's appropriately marked and.
Yeah.
It is a pedestrian walkway though, John. I mean, they have that, counts down and tells you when you can go. Well, it's not the flashing lights, but
I don't think at 3rd Street there's anything, is there?
No, but they won't be bringing them down 3rd Street, or I mean down South Street. They're going to bring them to, the main intersection.
Oh, they're going to Farnsworth. Okay, I was looking at it wrong. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, because like John
We're
said,
okay.
yeah,
I thought
downtown. Yeah.
That's right downtown. That's good.
So John, what do we need to do here? What's the, he wants us to pass a resolution or?
Just a motion.
Oh, we don't have to do it 3 times?
No.
Okay, I give you the motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we've done resolution 2820. Resolution 2920 is a resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to enter into a contract with Highland Administrative Services, Inc., administrator of the Ohio Government Risk Management Plan for comprehensive property, casualty, and liability insurance coverages and declaring an emergency. John?
Thank you, Mayor. This is a issue that comes up every August. We look to renew our property and general liability insurance, and the renewal from the Ohio plan through Highland Administrative Services, the premium for 2020 to 2021 is $46,745, and there's a 2% increase for inflation for our property and equipment. We try to keep our equipment values in line with the insurance, and especially like fire equipment and things like that, that tends to be rather expensive. So it's a renewal for 1 year.
Did we get any other quotes, John?
No, we didn't. We looked at quotes maybe 3 or 4 years or so. We take some bids, but we didn't get any bids this year.
Okay. How long have we been with Highland?
Actually, since 1988, and when we have gone out to bid, they tend to have the best bid. But you know, we can always keep them honest. I guess maybe next year we can go out to bid.
Okay.
Any more questions? Okay, we need a motion to accept. Yep, Mary Duncan,
I'll second that.
Rod Fry. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next resolution is resolution 3020. A resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to enter into a contract with Proudfoot Associates, Inc. for the construction engineering services for the 2020 paving program. John?
Thank you, Mayor. This is a resolution to have Proudfoot oversee our construction engineering for the 2020 paving program. Bowers Asphalt is the contractor, and we did have a pre-construction meeting with them, and they are looking to start the first and second week of September milling and paving. So Proudfoot would be involved right away with the work.
Any more questions or comments? Before we put this to a motion on the floor, I just want to make a comment. I think I mentioned it to some of you, but not as a group. I know when this went out to bid several months ago, I happened to be talking to one of the contractors, and he offered a suggestion for next year that council might consider. We have, and Kenny, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have a policy that when a road is opened up, in other words, when you dig down and peel off the 2 or 3 inches of old asphalt, that we get that repaved that very same day. And this particular contractor made a suggestion. He said, Tim, if you allow the contractor to mill the roads with a milling crew and then come back a day or two later with a paving crew, you probably would save a few dollars or perhaps be able to stretch your funding for more roads. And I know we stipulated that in our contract specification that if you mill the road in the morning, you got to come back by the end of the day and put that asphalt back under. Kenny, do you want to comment on that? Is that something we have followed for years and kept it that way?
Yeah, pretty much. Interesting concept, though. I'll talk to him about that.
and I don't know if this is a 5 or 10% change, but I guess if our citizens knew that they might get 10 or 15% more roadway done, it'd be inconvenience for a day or two, but it's not that they couldn't get to their driveways. It just would be that 1.5 to 2 inch bump going from point A to point B. Something to think about. I think we can think of ways to stretch our dollars to be better off.
So noted.
Okay, so we need a motion to.
Mayor, quick question. This is Todd. So, yeah, this is a civil engineering company, correct? This Proudfoot Construction Engineering. I noticed we spend a lot of money on with Proudfoot. Have we thought? I mean, what are the thoughts in hiring in-house rather than outsourcing it?
Well, I mean, we don't have the equipment to do blueprints and
I see.
other things like that. I mean, there might be a time in the future where we could hire an inspector. And for example, Perrysburg has an inspector, and if we had an inspector, maybe they could do these type of services, these construction engineering services. We could do that. The other, I guess, the problem there is they would have to have something to do when we're not paving or building something. That's an example. Perrysburg has a individual that's all they do all summer. They inspect road projects and underground work and that type of thing.
And I did think about that, John. So how do we leverage that? Because there is going to be downtime, but it seems like when I see the money going to Proudfoot, I mean, it seems like it might be a little bit cheaper, quite a bit cheaper if we hire in-house. So just
The Proudfoot, probably quite a bit of that is also design. So they do the design, and they have done the city's work for quite a while, and so they know our city. They know where everything is. That's a positive there. But a lot of the work, a lot of the cost is design and engineering design and that type of thing as well. So.
Hey, John, aren't we getting reimbursed for the majority of that?
Yeah, we get reimbursed for the construction engineering.
Yeah.
One of the things that Andrea was nice enough to reimburse us for before we signed off on our plat.
Right.
That type of thing, for construction engineering type of work, we ask for reimbursement in the city ordinances. They require that.
Another thing, Scott. I know just from my line of work, a lot of communities our size and even bigger, they just can't afford or justify rather having somebody on staff. But I like the idea of trying to figure out ways to do things in-house. So keep those ideas flowing. All right. Having said that, we need a motion to accept Resolution 3020.
I'll move to approve.
John Rozak, need a second.
I'll second.
Rod Fry, second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, Resolution 3120, a resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to sign a letter of intent with Palmer Energy Company for the potential purchase of solar generated electricity for the city facilities and governmental aggregation program. John?
Thank you, Mayor. This is kind of an unusual item. We're in the Northwest Ohio Aggregation Coalition, and that's area communities that work together to try to achieve lower pricing from electric distribution companies. They would like us to sign a letter of intent for them to try to get proposals for generating a portion of our power that we receive. 25% would be generated by solar energy, and the idea is that it would be a hedge against future electric power increases, which I guess over time costs tend to increase. And Cincinnati, Ohio, has
And John, there's really no cost to the city per se. It's just a matter of authorizing them to use our name and our buying power and so forth.
Correct.
Any more discussion or questions for John? Need a motion to accept resolution 3120, please.
So moved.
Todd Borowski, need a second, please.
Second.
Barbara Bruno, any more discussion?
It'll be interesting to see what they do, what they come back with.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next up, we have other information or unscheduled business. I'll go around the room, starting with Barbara Bruno.
Nothing further. Thank you, Mayor.
Mary Duncan?
Nothing further. Thank you.
Anthony?
Nothing further.
Todd?
So now that Mike's been voted in for the tree commission, how do we get him on board? Obviously, one of us have to say the oath to him. And when is that official?
I would think at your next meeting, the tree, maybe at the tree meeting coming up, the chair
Okay.
would administer the oath, and we can get that information to you.
Okay, that would be great. I think they're under the impression we have to wait for the minutes to come out. So, John, can we let them know that Mike can be sworn in now rather than wait for the minutes? We do have a meeting on Thursday.
Yeah, I will send Jody the information, and she can get that on the agenda.
Perfect, John. Thank you.
John, are you having your meeting, that tree commission meeting, is that Zoom or is that in person?
It's in person at Conrad Park.
Okay.
Yep.
Thursday night, right?
Thursday night. Yep.
Would you, I'm going to be gone, but would you mind calling me at the beginning of that meeting? I just want to say thanks to Mike and thanks to the tree commission. And I won't be able to do it in person, but I can do a FaceTime or whatever. If you would help me with that, please.
Consider it done.
Thank you, Todd. All right. I think I left off
Yep.
Rod Fry.
Wait, I'm not done.
Oh, go ahead, Todd.
So, other business is communication with our residents. We brought this up earlier in tonight's meeting with letters going out in regards to the recycling and the containers and so forth. I really think we need to boost our social media presence. So anything that's going on in the city of Waterville, we could either post to, I don't know if Nextdoor has, a way for the city to sign in where we can say, okay, this is going on, because there are a lot of residents in Nextdoor. As far as our Facebook page is so hard to find, but I would really like to make sure that 2021, we have a solid program in social media where we could actually post stuff going on. So when all of these residents are complaining on Nextdoor saying, why aren't they telling us? They keep everything to themselves. They don't communicate with the residents. We're posting on social media. They could join, they can like the page. I think White House, I think Waterville's better than White House, but White House does a really great job with social media. They now have like 2,700 likes, followers on their Facebook page. So, John, I don't know if I could work with you, or what are your thoughts in trying to boost our social media or communication to the residents through.
I think that's a great idea. I know we've talked about it. Department heads have talked about it, and we actually we're trying to get a lieutenant from the Toledo Police Department to come in and kind of just talk to us about things that they do and do's and don'ts, and just that was kind of a starting point. But with all the I guess the rioting and the officer being killed in Toledo, that's kind of fallen off our radar. But we have talked about it, and I agree that we do need to do it, and that would obviously that's something we got to do in this day and age, and it's probably something we could try to get started when we do the cart delivery, because yeah, I mean I've noticed that people they on social media the story changes, and I agree, if we just something out that, no, this is the day and this is when it's gonna come, and we're also sending
Mhm.
something out in the mail for people that aren't as savvy, I guess, on social media, but yeah, it's definitely a part of something we need to get moving on and better communicate with people in the, I guess, the 2020s.
I would
I
make
think
it.
we need something in the budget. I mean, when we do the budget for next year, we need to allocate funding to get this right. I don't think Nextdoor is the great place to do it because many of the people that have signed up for Nextdoor are on the other side of the river and in Waterville Township, but they're on that page and they say things that it sounds like it's Waterville, but then I look up their address and they're actually in the Sanctuary or 5 Point Road. And so that, yes, we can communicate to them still, but I think we do need to work on our Waterville website. I said that before, and I just think we need to allocate some funds to do that.
Todd, I'm going to ask, because we talked about this before, I'm going to ask Todd you to come back in 30 days, 45 days, whatever you and John determine. And if you wouldn't mind educating us on those other platforms we talked about. Twitter, if that's the right thing. I'm from old school, but the old
MySpace,
the old tree line, phone line, when you pick the phone up and call. But seriously, are there other ways to get the message out? Because one side of me said we want to communicate. I think we are communicating, but we want to make sure it's done right. And like Mary said, we probably got to make some investment of time and energy. So I think we're in agreement. I think we'll defer to you and John to come up with some ideas so we can, and maybe this education campaign we're talking about, the co-op, maybe that's a good springboard to lead. That'll be the lead story, the lead campaign. So Todd, I'm gonna let you keep talking, Todd, so go ahead.
No, I'm done. I think that's great. I'll meet up with John and talk about it. I also would like to give you some homework. I don't know if you're on LinkedIn. I think it would be great to have our mayor on LinkedIn and posting stories about Waterville now and again. So a lot of professionals in town are going to request you as a contact on LinkedIn, and this is where you could talk up Waterville a little bit as well.
Good, John or Todd, and you'll be helping me with that too.
You got it.
Oh boy.
All right, before we move on, Todd, anything else before we move on?
That's it. Sorry.
Sure. All right. I think we have Rod Fry. How about John Rosick?
Mayor, I think we've covered it all, so I have nothing further to add.
Rod?
Hey, Todd and John, I'd be happy to help out with the social media. I'm an old school guy, but I'd like to understand more about that, and it's better for us to be ahead of the social media than behind it. So if I can help at all, let me know.
I think I recommend all three of you do it. Just get it done. Like that. All right. Joe Bovano, are you still on? And Chief Doug Meyer, anything at your end?
I'm good, thanks.
Doug?
I'm all set.
And John Bokenauer.
Nothing further, Mayor.
Okay, we won't meet until September 14th, but we'll probably be communicating in the meantime. We have Labor Day coming up, so take time to respect all the good forces that worked up to this point to celebrate Labor Day, and take time to enjoy your family. That's all I have. Meeting is adjourned.
Take care.
Thanks.
You.
Probably should have a motion. You want a motion, John, or?
Yeah, let's have a motion from John Rosick. John Rosick.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
I'll third.
Thanks all. Thank you.
All right. Good
Night.
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 Night.